We've made it. The 2025 season is here. Hello and welcome to another episode, the season opening episode of the Duke Football Talk Section 17 podcast. I'm your host, Brian Kennedy, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Josh Cox. Oh, you flipped it on me, Josh. Josh Cox, Scott Medlin, and the lobster, Jamie Holt. He was at the beach. Couldn't you tell? We've got another great episode coming to you as we get ready for the Elon game. As of this recording, we are 3 days away. But before we get into everything Duke and Elon, we've got to pay the bills. Another season of keeping the lights on. So here is a message from one of our sponsors, Hometown Air.
Game day is more comfortable when your home's heating and cooling systems are in top shape. Hometown Air keeps homes in Durham and the surrounding areas running smoothly all year long. From repairs and service contracts to full system replacements, our local team delivers reliable work and honest service. Mention the Section 17 podcast when you schedule your appointment and get 10% off your next service. Call Hometown Air at 919-568-3212 or visit hometownairnc.com for your free quote today.
And again, thanks to Hometown Air renewing their sponsorship for us for the 2025 season. This episode's also brought to you by Realtor Matt Bliven. He is re-upped as well. When it comes to buying, selling, investing, or building here in Durham and around the Triangle, Matt's always ready to help you move the chains. He'll quarterback the whole process from kickoff to closing, so you'll never fumble a deal. If you're looking for a real estate win, put your trust in Realtor Matt Lunsford Bliven, helping you score big in the Durham market and beyond. For more information, email Matt at mlb@nestrealty.com. So thanks again to Matt for re-upping this year. And Josh, we've got one more sponsor to thank.
We do, and this is an upgraded sponsor from last year. They were an Iron D level sponsor. They've upgraded to the Hellraiser level sponsor, and that is our friends over at El Rodeo. This is on North Duke Street in Durham. They're about 10 minutes from campus. Listen, whatever you need. You need queso? They got queso. Trying to work out a deal with them. Maybe when queso scores a touchdown, maybe we hook up some like free queso there. But we're going to talk through that. But listen, the team over at El Rodeo can get you taken care of. Whether you have a large party, they do have a back room there they can hook you up with. That's just quality, good Mexican food there on North Duke Street. And so whenever you're in the mood for some chips and salsa, for some fajitas, whatever you need, El Rodeo on North Duke Street has got you covered. And we appreciate them upgrading their sponsorship this year to the Hellraiser level. Brian, we paid the bills. The lights are on. Let's get rolling.
Fantastic. All things home and Mexican, salsa, queso, the chips. We'll figure it out before the season's done.
The Cheeps.
Yes, the Cheeps. Got an abbreviated episode tonight. We don't have a tirade. Everything went as well as it could have been week 0, all things considered. So none of us are really upset about anything. So we're gonna save that energy more than likely for next week's episode as we look into Illinois. But the big news out of today, we are recording on a Monday night. The depth chart for the 2025 Duke Blue Devils season was released. We're going to talk about that really quickly. Some non-surprises, some surprises maybe. We'll walk through some of the things that we saw. We're not going through the entire depth chart, but whoever wants to start, a shocker, Darian Mensah is the starting quarterback. I know everyone was on pins and needles wondering who would win that QB battle, but let's get into it. Let's talk about some of the depth chart things that we saw with the release today. Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I'll go. I mean, obviously, I think there were a couple of there were not a ton of surprises, but there were a couple of notable things. I'll start with the wide receiver room. I think, even we anticipated Andrew Anthony, kind of being in one of those top roles there. And from what we've heard and gathered from inside, it's that the honest truth is that he's still really trying to get his body back to where he needs it to be. Obviously, last season was cut short for Andrell at Oklahoma due to an injury. He only played a handful of games at the beginning of the season. And so a little bit of that is just him getting his body right. And so giving him a couple of weeks here at the beginning. Obviously, I believe that Coach Brewer, Coach Diaz are very pleased with, Queso, Samir, and Cooper Barkate. Obviously, you've got young guns underneath them like Chase Tyler, and I thought it was interesting on a wide receiver too. There you saw our guy Jaden Moore as well. So really cool there. That's the first one I'll talk about. There's a couple of more I think some of you guys can maybe bring up. There's a couple more just notable things that we saw. Jamie, where are we heading next?
I mean, I think I saw Bryce Davis being third, listed as third string, but we know that defensive line is so deep. We already know that. And true freshman, I mean, it is what it is. Just going to take a little while to get up to the speed of the game. And the same thing with Gompers. We saw him listed at third on the depth chart. So both highly touted true freshmen are currently at third on the depth chart, but I don't think that's anything huge to deal with. Hopefully we can blow Elon out and they get a lot of reps Thursday night. So
Scott, go ahead.
I would say in the secondary, we've heard a lot of these names, corner and free safety and rover and stuff. But Pelinchado being the number 2 behind Weaver, Makai Jones being the number 2 behind Deshaun Stone, then Landon Callahan being behind Chandler Rivers. So you get to see guys coming out of those rooms that obviously have had a great camp, and then just hearing all the great things from other players. I mean, Wes Williams and those guys talking about playing against these guys, and Darian Menza, all this other stuff. So, looking at the starting lineups, just the guys that are technically the number ones, this team's going to be tough. They're going to be really good. I think Elon would be a perfect opportunity to give a chance to get better and get a lot of young guys in there to play some.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's really neat to see on the 2 deep. Like, there's a lot of freshmen, redshirt freshmen, and young guys out there. The tight end room I thought was interesting as well. Obviously, Landon King, highly touted guy coming in from Utah. The only issue was that due to just some technical difficulties and some details, he did not get to practice for the first about week, I believe, of camp. I may be overstating that a little bit, but I know that he had to sit out some at the beginning of camp. And so what you see is a clear number 1 there with Jeremiah Hazley in the tight end room, which I think all of us know Jeremiah Hazley is a tight end 1. It's just a matter of we really thought Landon King would kind of be that, or maybe with him. So I thought it was interesting. Also, shout out to Jake Taylor for making that or basically a tight end too. And then I think, running back room, listen, part of this depth chart is the coaches are playing like either mind games with players or they're not trying to mess up chemistry. What you saw in the running back room was Jacquez Moore, running back 1, and then the other 3 guys are all oars. So you're going to see Castle, you're going to see Shepard, you're obviously going to see Peyton Jones, and it's going to be hot hand. We will still hang our hats on Anderson Castle being a short yardage, touchdown making type guy. We could be wrong. We could absolutely be wrong on that, but I thought that was interesting. Anything else, Brian, that stuck out to you?
With the running backs and sticking with that, I look at them like a baseball rotation. A different game, you could have a different running back that stands out and performs well to where Jacquez might. Again, Elon is Elon. We know that. We're going to probably see all 4 guys in the backfield at some point on Thursday night. But when you get to your Illinois, your Tulanes, your Clemsons, your big-time games, if someone's not performing on the field, next man up, next man up, next man up. That is probably one of the best rooms that this Duke team has this year. Obviously, a lot of people were asking, and folks will just put it out there. Terry Moore is not ready to come back. That's why Terry Moore is not on the depth chart right now. So I'm just letting everyone know who might ask, if you see us at the tailgate, what have you heard about Terry Moore? An ACL injury is an ACL injury. It takes a lot. I know I'm not only the president, but I'm a customer as well. I've gone through that as well. And it's a tough injury to come back from, but we'll see him. We just don't know when this season.
Yeah, and keep in mind, we played the late bowl game. We were in January. Like, it's not like we played an early December bowl game. Like, he got injured in the first week of January. So, be patient with that. Like we said on the previous episode, it's all good that he's getting all the preseason accolades. I think that's just respect to his game. But like just the reality of it is, we're hoping the last half of the season.
I think that's good for the depth chart. I mean,
Yeah.
there were no really big surprises, but it's just something to look at the oars because anyone could go at any time on the field, and that's going to be fun to watch on Thursday night to see what Coach Brewer does with that offensive scheme, as well as Coach Patke with the defensive scheme. Jamie, you ready? It's our first mailbag of the season.
I am. Ready.
You sound excited. I mean, my goodness, calm down. Calm down. This is the most excited I've seen you in a long time. By the way, folks, as I stated earlier, Jamie got a little too excited at the beach, if you can't tell. We're going to call him the lobster for at least a week now. He got some sun on him.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a mishap with like not reapplying sunscreen. So that was probably not a great move on my part.
God 1, Jamie 0.
Yeah, exactly. the sun is undefeated. Like it's literally undefeated. But yeah, let's get started. Roll right in with the questions. I've got a couple here to start that I'm going to group together, and then we can just discuss because I thought they were kind of the same ish. We start with at Bentley Weeks. How much of the offensive bag do we see on Thursday? Do we keep everything simple or show some flash early? And then I had a similar question from Scott Anthony Lambley. He had two questions. How important is it to see an improvement in the offense early and often against Elon this season as compared to last season? Obviously, the passing game is under pressure to perform, but how important is it to the overall offensive performance that the run game is effective early and often? And then one more, Jason Rogers. For this Duke team to set a standard, we need to beat Elon by 30 or more points. I could agree with that. Do you guys agree, or would you all just take a win? 10-2 is where we need to be to take that next step.
So just to confirm, we did say to condense our episodes, we were going to do like 5 to 7 questions. I think Jamie just hit the quota in the first question. I like what he's doing. He's condensing everyone. All right, we've got like one question that's actually 10 questions from everyone, so I'm just going to read them all at once.
Hey, I just figured this was going to be a shorter episode anyway.
No.
That's fine.
So
he's bending the rules, kind of like when we used to do the players of the week or whatever, and Brian would select like an entire like the defensive unit or like the fans. I don't even know what that is.
Give me the city of Durham.
Yeah, exactly. But no, legitimate questions. Brian, go ahead, take it.
So if you remember last year, Elon hung with Duke for about a half to 2.5 quarters, and people started getting a little worried. But as we've stated before with the new coaching change, it's still going to take time for the systems to get through to all the players. I truly think it's going to be one of those things to where we see 50 to 60% of the playbook, because you know who's coming into town next week in number 12, probably still number 12 ranked Illinois, depending on how their game goes. But I also think Brewer's wanting to silence a lot of naysayers to show them that last year was just coming into Durham, bringing in the playbook, trying to get things figured out, trying to get everyone where they need to be. I think my question more so is, when do you pull the starters? How quickly can we pull the starters against Elon to give those guys who will probably be on the sidelines more during the season as much experience as possible? So to Jason's point, I would love to see a blowout, often and early. From everything we've seen from the Duke social media team, practice is looking good. But again, as AI used to say, we're talking about practice. Some things might not correlate to the field in that first game. There could be nerves for some guys getting on the field for the first time. So I think we're going to see more of an explosive offense, but at the same time, and I speak for the 4 of us as well, if we go through a series or 2 and things are stagnant, we got to just let things play out, because again, the first 2, correct, Scott, or whoever, first 2 series are already drawn up before the game
Typically
starts.
15 plays.
Okay, 15 plays.
Typically
right.
15.
So if the first 10 plays don't work, don't blow a gasket. Don't worry, things will progress.
And what you're saying is, with Coach Brewer, similar to Jalen Milroe back when he was at Alabama, he's going to try to let a naysayer know. Is that what that means? So anyway,
shout out Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee, one of the funniest clips anyway. But yeah, man, I agree. I actually think though, to the point Brian made, I think what we have to realize is, next week is not UConn. Next week is not, it's not, it's not Tulane even, right? I mean, it's Illinois. So I think there's a balance there that you've got to manage, and that is you got to get your reps, right? You got to get your reps. So like there's some stuff that you're going to have to throw out there because you don't get another week of like trying to figure it out. It's like, no, the following Saturday at 12 noon, you're on ABC, man. Like it's time to roll. So it will be actually, I think it's a great question because I think it's something we're all going to be watching this Thursday night to see like, how much do we see that playbook opened up?
I think it's one of those things where you want to put Elon away early if possible. I mean, you really want to you want to see Bryce Davis get a bunch of reps. You want to see Gompers get a bunch of reps. And not going to mention everybody, obviously, but I feel good. I feel great about our defense. I feel great about our defense. I think the biggest thing that Duke fans are worried about is what is the offense going to look like? And this year, I think Brewer has got his quarterback. I mean, hopefully he proves everybody right because I think he's got his quarterback. I think he's got his guy that can extend plays, not necessarily run for a whole bunch of yardage. I don't think we're going to necessarily see Mensa run for a ton of yardage. So if he doesn't take off and run for 15 yards, don't get mad at him for that. But he can extend a play, which is something that we saw very little of last year. Nothing personal against Malik there, and I'm not going to take a shot at him because he still threw for 26 touchdown passes or whatever it was.
Just a school record.
Yeah, just a school record. That was it. But Mensa, I think, is going to be able to extend plays. I think the offense is going to look a little more like what Brewer wanted it to look like last year.
That's kind of one of the things he referenced today in the press conference. He mentioned the fact that they'll be able to run RPOs and know that the quarterback will do some of the R. And he said he was really excited to see him run an RPO and keep the ball because he wants to see, he's obviously Darian's a really good athlete. But one of the things that he did reference today was the fact that 2 weeks ago when they first started doing the scrimmages, guys are still getting to know things, still learning the playbook, things like that. He said as it's progressed and as they're getting in practice now, they're starting to click, they're starting to gel. So that's what you want to see right in game week. So, and again, like everybody else said, if we can get a big lead, that would be great because we want to see, there are a bunch of people going to play anyway, no matter what. A lot of these young kids are going to get out there, whether it's a 3-0 game or a 33-0 game, because they need to get the time because you never know when the next man up is going to have to be out there. So I think that's one of the good things about playing these younger guys having great practices, then finally getting to be able to hit somebody wearing a jersey that doesn't have the Duke colors on it.
Jamie, just be sure to heed your own words. If Mensa doesn't run one of those plays he should, because I know you're going to blow a gasket at some point. Why didn't he run?
Not me. Not me.
No.
No,
You turned over a
never.
new leaf.
Never.
For what it's worth, and I don't know the turnover at Elon, but they gave up almost 350 yards a game last year. So food for thought.
And for what it's worth, they have 2 new coordinators, one on each side of the ball.
All right. Next up is this is for Brian. This is another little group of questions.
So the next 20 questions are on
went ahead and asked all the questions today. No, I really didn't. I didn't take all the questions. This is from Byron Lee Black. What player or position group are you guys excited to see against Elon? He says, I think for me, I want to see how the wide receivers and tight ends mesh with Mensa. And then similar at Blade for Duke, which position group would benefit most from lots of reps in the 2 or 3 deep versus Elon? And then one more with Landon Williams. He says, besides Darian Mensa, what transfer or true freshman do you guys think will have the biggest impact on the game?
I'm going to say Bryce Davis. I think he'll get in there early and often because this is one of those games to fine-tune his skills. We saw a glimpse of it at the spring game, and it was quite impressive against the first-string offense. That one play, even though it was called a flag, he blew up the O-line. So I think that's going to be exciting.
Shout
to
out
watch.
Bruno Fino.
Bruno, we love you, bud. You were in the behind the scenes video.
Hey, you were ready to fight. He was ready. They were ready to fight. I'll give him that.
He was. Nothing but love to Bruno. I honestly am interested to see how the wide receiving team does, because that was a pretty big turnover for this Duke team. You got Jaden coming in. He didn't play all last year. You got Barcate. You've got some others that you truly don't know what to expect. So if Mensah can get started early and often with the wide receivers, I think we'll get a good feel for who he's looking towards. Obviously,
and Brian, to your point on wide receivers real quick, sorry to interrupt you. I'll give it back to you, but it will be interesting if we can get down to that like wide receiver 4, 5, 6. Like Chase Tyler is a big one. Like he was pretty highly recruited, didn't really get the snaps last year, but it's like, like there's something there. And what would that look like? And a guy that I noticed in practice, and I don't even know that I have his first name, but Kettering, he's like 6 or 7 down, but man, he makes some pretty nice catches in practice. And so anyway, we'd have to get down into the depth chart.
Paxton.
That's it.
Paxton Kettering.
As far as a transfer for me, I think, or a true freshman, Brian took Bryce Davis, but I think the transfer that's going to make the biggest impact, well, besides Mensah, they said besides Mensah, I think is Barcate. I feel like that he's going to be Mensah's safety valve type guy, and that I feel like he's going to just get open, and just he's going to be there, and he's going to get. I feel like he's going to get a lot of looks.
Kind of Connor Vernon-esque, possibly.
If he can
Jacob Bobo.
Oh, yeah, that's good too.
If he can be anywhere close to either one of those guys, we're in a good situation.
Another thing I'm wondering, and Scott, I'm not trying to take any time from you. Will Brewer have any 2 tight end sets? We've got the depth. That could be something that we weren't able to do last year, obviously, with the injuries that we had. It got down to Jake Taylor, and I don't think Jake was expecting to play as much as he did, but he did a phenomenal job being called up. But with that tight end room, I think we could see some of that, and that would be fun to watch as well. That's something Duke has not had in a very long time.
I would say, for me, the secondary. After hearing all the things I've heard, and I kind of referenced it a minute ago when I was talking, the fact that Mekhi Jones and Pelinchata are both getting such big love from everybody as true freshmen, I think that's going to be something key. But I'm also looking forward to like Luke Margot, seeing him play. He hasn't got a lot of chances, but
his mother would tell you, Scott, it's Mergot.
I just said it.
I was going to say, I was about to call him Merlot. As soon as I said it, I realized
they're not French. Mother
Margot, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
Amy,
I
please
knew because I've heard you say it 100 times.
Someone's getting slapped on Thursday.
I've heard it 100 times, and I've heard you say it 100 times, and I still screwed up. So it's our first episode, really. So that's all that matters.
That's my job, Scott.
But also one person to look forward to in the secondary to me would be watching Caleb Weaver plays. I'm really excited to see what he does, and him and Francois, I think, are going to do a great job along with Chandler, because they all have experience. And I'm telling you, man, looking at the roster now compared to what we were looking at before at the end of last season, this team is a whole lot better than we thought it was going to be.
All right. Next up, we got at the Duke of QP.
Will,
but actually, it's not anything to do with the Devil's deck this time. Disappointing. Will Brewer guide this team to a top 50 offense in FBS this season?
I think he followed that up with a tag at Brian. I think he CC'd Brian on that.
Yeah, and it's possible. The firepower is definitely there. I don't think that's a question.
Where was our offense last year? Does anybody know? I can look it up real quick. You guys talk.
I look at it this way. I know our offense was like in the 90s. At 90s to 100s at some point, because I would look weekly at our opponent and then where Duke was at the same time. And that Ole Miss game in the Gator Bowl didn't help either for the stats. I'm going to say possibly. I'm going to cop out, and here's why. your first 5 games, you've got a really good shot to be in the top, I'll say 35, because you're playing Elon. You're playing Illinois, which is going to be a hard game regardless of what time of the year you play them. You've got Tulane, which Mensa's looking to probably show out down in New Orleans. Not Baton Rouge, by the way, New Orleans. State, there's a lot of unknowns about State, and they just lost their key running back to an Achilles tear. And then you got to go out to Syracuse. Syracuse. Syracuse is another toss-up team. A lot of people think they could be a sleeper, like Louisville was a couple of years ago. If you can get through those 5 games injury-free, and you can start rolling with the playbook, I could see this team in top 50 territory heading into the Georgia Tech game.
So we finished the year, according to sportsreference.com, we finished the year 78th.
Oh, okay. So that was
offense,
actually
so
who did we play the last few games? Oh, Wake, UConn.
Yeah.
No, UConn was early. Wake, and anyway, there were some teams I think we padded some stats on.
So it's not out of the question that they could make that jump. I mean,
it's not out of the question. It's just I'm wondering how they perform against your Clemsons, your Georgia Techs. I'll even throw Grandpa in there because you never know what he's going to bring out at Chapel Hill College.
I would say look at it this way. When we get to the first bye week, thereafter we play Cal, I think we can go back and reference it and kind of look at it because we'll know by then where we're going to be, what the forecast, shall we say, is going to look like. And yeah, like Brian said, we may be able to eat up on these guys because their defense may not be as good. But if we're able to do what we think just by looking at that depth chart as how the offense and the defense is going to be, I think that the top 50 is easily accessible.
Can we just real quick, Jamie, before we go to the next question, can we just step back and realize how crazy last season was? We had a quarterback that broke the record for touchdowns thrown. We finished 78th in the country in offense.
That's insane.
And the team moved on from said quarterback at the end of the season. That's just a wild, and we're not here to comment on the details, but let's just you don't have to be a smart person. That's a wild scenario. So I just would like to say that. That's all I can say, but that's pretty wild.
I would like to, I hope that Brewer shuts the naysayers up on Thursday. And I hope I hope we drop 50 on Elon. I mean, that would be nice. Like, you just come out and just, after last year only scoring 26, it would be awesome to just drop a 50 burger out there. You know, it's like, for whatever, I would love to see that.
For what it's worth, and again, turnovers happen with all teams, team turnovers. I just looked up the total defenses for last year and how they finished. Tulane finished 24th in the country. Did not see that one coming. You have, let me look here because there was another team that surprised me. Cal was 36th. Now, I don't know who Cal lost and who they're bringing in, but that surprised me. Georgia Tech was 42nd. Okay, figure that. UConn 46th. Now, remember, we've talked about this. That game up in East Hartford on November 8th, that could potentially be a trap game late in the season. I don't see Illinois on the first page. Now, granted, I know the Big Ten Conference, 68th, there they are. The Big Ten Conference is a tough conference to play in, but still, there might be some teams that we might be overlooking defensively that could shock and surprise. So it's doable, top 50, but let's get through these first 4 to 5 games.
I'll close it out and we go to the next. But I think we have to also balance the fact that Manny Diaz is he's a defensive coach. He's a defense first guy. So I mean, what if he was an offensive minded guy, if it was Ben Johnson, right? Duke might be trying to hang a 50 burger. If it's Manny Diaz, he might be like, hey, get us to 30 and then let's coast because we want to get this and this done. It's just a different philosophy. I'm not saying that Coach Diaz is going to pull the foot off the gas at all. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he is a defense first guy. And I think we've seen that throughout history. There's very few defense first coaches that have a high powered offense. it's not typically the thing. And then on the flip side, the same is true. Larry Fedora, right? Like he had great offenses and they had terrible defenses, and he was an offensive guy. So still miss that guy running around shirtless. But anyway.
Duke finished 58th in defense in the country last year.
78 to 58. So you want to talk about fortune, brothers, my brothers.
Brother.
We finished 78th in offense, 58th in defense, and somehow finished 9-4 and ended up 27th or something in the final rankings. That's some fortune right there.
All right, what are our next 20 questions combined into one?
I thought everybody would enjoy this one. This is a good question. Especially Brian will enjoy this. At Bleed In Duke Blue. If y'all could choose one entirely new look to see appear in one game this season, what would you choose and what would it be for a specific game? It can be something as simple as a different helmet or a color scheme or whatever. And since I'm already unmuted, I'll go. I don't know if I'm not like Brian, so I have no clue about what uniforms have been used or what haven't been used. But here's the combo that I use in college football 26, and I use it all the time. It's the blue helmet with the Gothic script and blue jerseys and blue pants. That's what I use all the time. I love that look. I think it's clean, but I have no idea if it's been used before. So
Jamie,
that would be mine.
Jamie, that combo was used on September 15th, 2021. No, I have no idea.
See? Well, the Gothic is brand. Yeah, that's new. Brian, you have to go last on this one, man. You know, you have to let me and Scott, beat you to the punch on this one. I'm going to go something unique because I do have actually, Scott, you go ahead because I want to see if you take something I was going to say because I have a couple of ideas.
All right, so I am absolutely in love with the NC State helmet from last year. The black with the white Gothic. Dude, that is that's unbelievable. Just love it. Okay, Brian's going to show exactly what I'm talking about here. Of course, he's not doing it fast as I was hoping he was going to, but that's okay. I'm trying to buy time for him to show us. And come on, there we go. Exactly. That's beautiful right there. That is a beautiful, clean look, plus the matted part of it. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I love that. And maybe I'm crazy, and that's okay because I like being that. I actually would like that with a blue jersey, blue top, and honestly, the blue bottoms. I'm okay with that. I don't like the multicolor, the white, the blue, and the black. I'm sorry, we're not eating cookies and cream ice cream, okay? But that's still what I like. I like that look with the blue. I like the blue anyway. The blue, all blue would be fine with me, but I really love that black helmet. So that's my new favorite thing. Like Brian loves the Hellraiser.
Okay, Brian, I'm gonna actually let you go before me because neither one of mine have been taken, and they did say even if it's something like completely new, like something you could make it.
Okay,
so Brian, you go ahead.
I mentioned this off camera to the equipment guys, and they kind of gave me the look. I'm that guy to them. I'm just throwing stuff, and they're just like, okay. I want the black mat like this one, and I want a all white Hellraiser, not the blue one, white one. Call it the Ghost Hellraiser. You put that on there, and some of you had noticed Mensa was wearing a black helmet with a white stripe. Now, could just be a practice helmet, could be foreshadowing for something that could be rolling out this year. I think that would be sick for like an October, like the Georgia Tech game if it's played at night. You roll those out. And I would say even you could use that and go with the black, just a complete blackout with the white Hellraiser. One thing that we discussed, and I think I'm going to go to because this is my baby. You go Gothic on the black, but it's blue with white outline. So you can actually see, so the blue could pop. So you have all three colors of the uniform on one helmet, and you could combine that with any jersey combination. So I would love to see that. I don't know if it will happen. I have heard of some small tweaks that are going to be on the helmets, but I've signed a NDA, so I can't say anything. You'll just have to come to the games and see it.
All right, so I'll give you my two quickly then. So my one that's out of left field, and I hate to steal like the basketball team thing, but I would love to see a navy blue and white, like Gothic D navy blue helmet, that type of, Brian, bring it on. I'd like to see that. And honestly, I think even different than having the Gothic Duke. Yes, this is it right here. That's it. Throw it up there. Just the D. I think that would be awesome. So a navy blue, then you could go white if you wanted to. You could go, you could try to go navy white, whatever. So I like that. And then my realistic one that they actually have that we've never seen. And I know we moved away from the black Iron D decals a couple of years ago. And I understand they had it there for a specific purpose. I actually would like to see this combo. I would like to see a blue helmet with the black Iron D, black top, blue pants. So blue, black, blue, but with the black Iron D. So you're really like honing in on the blue and black. I think that'd be a kind of a really cool look.
Kind of like what the Colts do. They've got a combo they do.
Yeah, it's one of their color rush. The color rush combos.
Exactly.
Yep.
I think those are
great
all
question.
Ideas.
Great question.
Yeah, I thought that was a fun question. All right, 2 more questions. Peter Dodge, at this point, since the genesis of the Section 17 podcast, Peter always comes up with great questions. Going into the 25th season, can you briefly describe how this podcast community has grown and how far life has evolved since the dark days of Duke football? Figured this maybe one for Josh, maybe, if he wants it.
Yeah, man. So taking that completely seriously, if you're new to the podcast, let me give you our 30-second elevator, pitch of how we happened. We started getting season tickets together. We all came to Duke football games when we were younger as kids, but we started getting season tickets together in 2017. And in 2019, I believe, maybe in 2017 even, we started a Twitter account because we were like, we'll talk Duke football, not on our personal accounts as much back then. And so we started the Twitter account 2019-ish. We had the idea of a podcast back in that day. We were like, there's no way we're going to really get together every week in person and do a podcast. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this. In 2020, global pandemic hit. It was called COVID-19 pandemic. And so we were introduced to this really cool thing called Zoom at that point. So in April of 2020, we decided to go live we decided to publish our first podcast, obviously audio only. We happened to do that going into the last 2 seasons of the David Cutcliffe era. So that was 2 and whatever and 3 and whatever the last 2 years. Somehow we grew decently through those years. And then we were our first media event. We were reached out to by Duke football. We became media credentialed. Our first media event was Coach Mike Elko's introductory press conference. So we really grew our following in those 2 seasons, honestly, with Coach Elko. And honestly, we owe a whole lot of gratitude to Mike Elko and his family. So they were nothing but great to us. But they really helped spearhead us. And then we've just grown from there for sure. But yeah, I mean, we've gone from, we're over 10,000. We're about to hit 10,500 Twitter followers. We have 3,700 people in our Facebook group. And yeah, a lot of you have been a part of it since the very beginning. So that's the origin stories. We're looking to keep going. I'm just going to tease this out. Sometime within the next few weeks, you may hear some stuff. You may hear some stuff. So we'll see. Yep. We'll keep you posted. But shout out to everybody that's been following on. New followers, new listeners, awesome as well. But for our OGs, man, it's really cool.
Josh, you had to press to go to the very top of the building and back down and then back up. That was like a 3-minute pitch.
Sorry. It was one of those. It was one of those elevators that you're waiting on when you're on family vacation, and there's there's one elevator in the whole unit and the whole place, and you're sitting there for 3 minutes waiting on it. That was what it was.
And just to add on to that, and what Peter was asking, this group have been through the dark ages of Duke football, as Peter was alluding to. We all were there. We were one of 50 people in the stands watching Duke get waxed by a no-name school that they should have there should be no way Duke would lose, and they did. We were a part of the 0-11.
Shout out Richmond.
Yes, I was. Yeah, oof, don't bring up bad memories.
The mighty Spiders.
Yes, we were there for the 0-11s, the 0-12s. We were there for the consecutive seasons of just nothing happening, and the only game that mattered was the Chapel Hill College game at the end of the year. And we all had that hope of, we're going to get the bell back this year, and then we would get our bells rung. and then we would have to hear Chapel Hill College fans just belittle us walking back to the car. So from that to now, we have a community, and I truly mean a community that gathers together before every game to tailgate B3. By the way, it's happening again. We'll give more details here shortly once we're done. But we have come to know the Hard Hat guys. We've come to know Rocket Man. We've come to know you, the fans. It's one thing to read your name off on a question. It's another for you to walk up and say, hey, I'm Blade for Duke. I'm Big Papa RV. I'm such and such. I'm the Duke of Jamie, what are you doing? Oh my gosh. I'm trying to give a heartfelt message to the fans, and here you are just losing it. Anyway, before Jamie truly loses it, we have seen growth not only in this program, but in this fan base. Now, all that to say, we're not where we need to be as a fan base. Just going to throw this out there right now, folks. The game against Illinois next week is super important, and we are nowhere near a sellout. That's what I'm going to leave that as. So I get it. It's the weekend after Labor Day, but do everything you can. If you are a Duke football fan, get your friends, get your family, get your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle, get Granny out of the bed, get Granny to the stands, do anything you can, because this could be a make or break game for this team this year.
I would just like to take a couple seconds to say this. If you know someone who does not know about us, if you're a fan and knows another fan that's a Duke fan but has no idea about the Section 17 podcast, please tell them about us. Bring them over to we got 2 home games in the next 10 days. Bring them over to the tailgate. Meet us. You don't have to meet us. Just meet the rest of the group. Meet the Hard Hat guys, because they're way more exciting than we are. Rocket Man is way more exciting than the 4 of us. And those dudes can cook. We just like to eat. So that's what we're there for. But look, if you know of anybody who doesn't listen to podcasts but loves Duke football, tell them about us. Tell them about, just word of mouth is a great way to get out there. And we would love to have people, join and enjoy football the way we enjoy it each time Duke plays a home game in Wallace Wade.
Well said. Well said. I'm going to leave it at that. But it's been a fun ride for sure. Last question. At Drew_Chesh. And I thought this was a great question. If the Section 17 crew were Duke football coaches, who is the head coach? Who is the offensive coordinator? Who is the defensive coordinator? And who is the guy that carries the tray of water bottles? I just want to know, can we create positions for, like, say, Scott to just constantly be yelling at the ref, like just calling them by their names, their full names, just like
knowing where they went to middle school.
I think that's
you got an F in math in 7th grade.
I think that's called coach.
And I just need to be.
I thought that's the replay official that holds up the headphones for the.
Yeah, I just kind of need to be standing on the sideline with my phone so I can angrily tweet like that. That would be my position. So I guess maybe that's
male cheerleader.
I wouldn't be paying attention. I would be talking to people. You know what I mean? I'd be talking to people and trying to network. So I'd lose all my train of thought.
And it's 4th down, and coach is talking to a cheerleader.
So I'll give you my 4. You ready? All right. Brian's the head coach, respectfully. And here's why. The head coach is more of like the operations manager of the thing. Like, and Brian will tell you this. He ain't trying to get down all in the weeds. He's running things. He's making sure everybody's got what they need. You guys don't know this, but every week in our chat, Brian has every single thing we're doing to a T. We go back and reference it. That's how we know where we're heading next. Like, Brian has got all that, right? So we're going to give Brian the head coaching nod. But we all know the nitty gritty, like we all know that it's all about Packy and Brewer when it comes down to it. So I'm going to go Scott Medlin for our defensive coordinator, because I feel like the defensive coordinator does a whole lot more yelling, right? Does a whole lot more like getting on people. When things go good, when things go bad, doesn't matter. Scott's going to be your defensive coordinator. Plus, you put Scott on the interior of the defensive line, he could probably show them boys how to plug up, some running lanes, right? So I'm going to give Jamie the offensive coordinator nod, because this is my thought. Jamie pumps dudes up, bro. Like, you remember the Riley Leonard love. Like, you remember the way Jamie's all – so, like, Jamie's the guy that, like calls the quarterback over and is like, Darian, you're the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I love you so freaking much. And, like, and then they're going to go and perform for him. Now, also, in the same sense as Jamie mentioned, on the side, he's tweeting angrily about whatever's going on. But
Can I interject really quick, though?
yeah,
He says that to Darian, but then the very next play, Darian throws an interception.
season's over.
Oh, no. FFS, Darian. What
Yep.
are you doing?
Like, season's over.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie might just walk off the field. I can't do this.
So then I will volunteer
all the time.
Yep. So I will volunteer for the water. I'll make sure we have Fiji water because Fiji water is the best. If you guys would just allow me during the game to just be able to talk to people, man. I just want to see the people that I know, talk to them, be on the sidelines, hang out with some big wigs, high five the AD every now and then. The president gave me a hug last year. So like, just let me do my thing, man. I just want to be around the greatness that you three bring.
Wait. You do remember, folks, if you're old enough, there was a certain movie that came out in the late 90s about a certain water boy who saved the team after it was found out that he was very good at football. So I think that's why Josh is going that route. He wants to be the savior of the team, a guy that shows up that no one expects to help the team out, and then he's just going to trot on the field. And would you take Polino's job? What job would you take, Josh, if they found out you had a gift and be on the team?
I couldn't take Polino's job because that would be counterintuitive. I could I'd become the holder. I'd have incredible hand-eye coordination. There'd never be a botch snap.
Are you making the water boy sound when you catch the ball?
Yeah. Of course. And so since I've been self-deprecating a little bit on this, the water boy, I guess, is responsible for getting all the sponsors for the podcast. Who would have known? Who would have thought? Sorry, I just had to throw that out.
Water boys are also very humble, if you can't tell.
Humble. Listen, I wrote the book on it, baby.
That's a wrap
really
for the
quick,
questions.
Who would be a good AD for us? Who would be over us to keep us in?
I got it. Our friend, Jordan Mann. The most connected man, literally the most connected dude we know. Yeah. He's also big into other sports. He's got the basketball side. Jordan be a good guy to kind of keep us, on track.
Head coaches and ADs do butt heads, so yeah, I think that's a good.
That's hilarious.
All right, well, that'll do it. Thanks to each and every one of you. A reminder: we're going to try to abbreviate the mailbag this year so we can be under an hour. So if you didn't hear your question asked tonight, don't worry. There's always next week as we head into the Illinois game. So again, thanks to each and every one of you. And before we close up shop, we've got a few more things to go through. We've got to give our predictions. It's the first predictions of the year, both a score prediction and jersey prediction. We're going to go through some of our giveaways that we have going on this year. This is the year of the fan. I truly believe this is going to be the year of the fan. We've got a whole bunch of great giveaways for the score prediction winners. We've got, Josh, our college football PS5 giveaway. If you want to talk about that,
we're gonna do that. We're gonna announce that winner on Wednesday on our social media profiles, and so hopefully it's somebody that's local that's going to be at the game Thursday because we'd love to give it to you in hand. If not, we'll ship it to you. Obviously, if you win it and you're not local, but yeah, we're gonna do that. I want to go ahead while I'm here. I've got the football school.
There you go.
I got the football school shirt on.
That's nice.
Yeah, man, I like that a lot. They're going to be available at the tailgate. So here's the way we're doing it for now. We're going to try to sell them all at the tailgate so we don't have to ship them. If we don't sell them in a couple of weeks at the tailgate, we'll obviously open them up to ship. For right now, you can pick them up at the tailgate. They're going to be $20 each. So very easy. We can accept cash, checks, or we can do PayPal. So yeah, $20 at the tailgate. They're really nice, man. I got mine. I think Scott's got the boxes, the box of them. So we'll be doing that. Brian, why don't you tell us very quickly what the week 1 prediction winner is going to win from the football?
I've actually got it right here. So we have a official hat that the Duke staff is issued during the football season. Medium large is the size. No, we do not. As we said in our season prediction episode, we were given what we were given. The size is the size. If you win, don't reach out to me saying, can I get a small, medium, or a large, extra large? Like, this is the size, medium, large. So the closest person to the score will win that. We will send that out to you. And as a reminder, the season predictions are still open. You have until Thursday before kickoff to get it in. And at last check today, we had 45 entries. I think last year we had like 55, so we're a little off. But again, you get a coach-issued long sleeve hoodie. We tweeted about it earlier today, so check our socials there. It's a great one. I mean, I've got everything lined up, ready to go. This is coming directly from the equipment staff. Again, a great collab box. Thank you again to those guys, Wes and Wools. And then really quick, Josh, before we get into predictions, any update on tailgating for this Thursday, if there is any?
Yeah, so here's what we can tell you. Still waiting on official word, but here's the deal. You're going to see the release that says that the lot's open at 5 p.m. If you want to wait till 5 p.m., go right ahead. That's fine. We're going to do our best to get in early. We've got word that some of our guys are going to get in as early as like 12:30, 1 o'clock. We're going to try to get in around 3 o'clock and be there. We do know we got some brisket tacos coming. We do know we got some Cajun food coming from the Bayou Blue Devil. Shout out Ben Thomason, another major part of our tailgate crew. So we're going to have some Cajun food. We're going to have some brisket tacos. And anyway, so we're going to get there around 3. Guys are going to be there as early as 1. And so you guys come. Obviously, if you don't have a B lot, Blue Zone lot pass, you can park in any free lot and just walk over. It's right on the visitor side. B3 is the lot we're in. You can't miss us. We're the biggest tailgate out there. So come hang.
I would suggest scootering over. It's a lot of fun. I might have to do that this Thursday from the Science Tech Drive. All right. Before we close up shop, favorite part of the episode, in my opinion, it is time to give our predictions on who we think will win. I think we all agree who we know will win, but we just got to give our score to see who gets the closest. And then what will the team be wearing on Thursday night? And after that, I will give you a quick did you know on Elon and Duke's history. Again, a reminder, we're sending a lot of reminders. There is no longer a tell of the tape or this week in Blue Devil history on our episodes. Those will be on social media throughout the week, so be on the lookout for those. All right, I'll pull a Jamie. Since I'm unmuted, I'll go first. As I stated earlier, I think Brewer has a chip on his shoulder. I think he wants this offense. Look at me. I'm already mixing them up. He wants this offense to shine early and often.
Watson, is that you? Go ahead.
Thanks, Josh. I think he's going to try to get out early and often, get the score up, and then let some of the guys on the sidelines come in, get their reps in. I don't think it's going to be like last year. I don't think we're going to be sweating into halftime wondering if we're going to beat Elon. I think it's going to be the exact opposite. We're going to get out early, big lead, and then cruise in the third and fourth quarter, kind of like what Josh was saying with Manny and Brewer. I'm going to go 42-10. I do think the defense will at least give up one touchdown in garbage time, maybe a field goal here and there at the beginning. As far as the jerseys go, I think we're going to go traditional. I think we're going to go white helmet, blue, and blue. I think we're saving something for Illinois. I don't know. It's just me. I have no inside knowledge before anyone says anything. But I think it's going to be white I'm going to go Gothic on the side since it's going to be a primetime game on the plus. So white helmet with the blue Gothic script, blue. All right, who's next?
I'll go ahead and go. I'll be short. For the score, I like Brian. I think Duke comes out and handles their business. I'm going to go Duke 48, Elon 10. I'll go same as Brian as far as Elon's score. And on the 48, I'm going to go 2 Todd Polino field goals. That's not a missed extra point there. Todd's not going to miss an extra point. FYI. Jerseys. I'm going to go blue helmet with just the white D, blue jersey, white pants.
All right. I'm going to go, let's see, it's 33.5. I'm going to go 44-13. Is that right? 44-13. So, yeah.
31.
Anyway.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you're taking the under.
We'll take the under. I don't know. I think it's going to be garbage. Anyway, the garbage time stuff. I'm going to go also traditional. I'm just going to go super traditional. I'm going to go white helmet with the blue D, blue top, white bottom. White, blue, white, as traditional and normal as it gets. So that's what I'm rolling with. Scott.
All right, so I'll do the uniform first. Let's say I go, I'm going to be odd. Let me go with the black Hellraiser. Let me go with the blue shirt, blue pants. I think that'll be a different combo. It's probably not going to happen, but what the heck. For the game itself, I don't want to pick the same score as you guys, so I'll go a little higher. Maybe we light the scoreboard up a little bit. We'll say 49 for Duke, and let's say 10 for Elon. I really think it's going to be a good game. And also, for what it's worth, since we won't talk to you again before next week, go Horny Frogs.
Let's go.
And just
Let's
Josh,
go.
for it's going to be on the website, our website, or are we?
No,
still
it'll just be on social. Yeah, it'll just be on
Okay.
social. Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right.
Yeah, just like old school.
Okay, got it. Well,
we got
before
some things in the works. Things in the works.
Everything's in the works right now. It's tough.
Brian,
it's tough not
I know.
saying what it is. But
We've got 3 minutes left, Brian, and we got to finish up with the did you know before we get out of here.
Gotcha. Did you know Duke and Elon have actually tied in a football game? Back in 1921 on October 29th, the final score was Duke 0, Elon 0. Now you have to remember, folks, Duke was back. They were in their second season from being dormant from 1895 to 1919. I put 1999. That was, kind of. Anyway.
Kind of true.
Kind of. Duke would finish 6-1-2 for the season. And it was actually their second straight winning season after coming back from dormancy. On the flip side, Elon would go 3-4-2 for the season. You're going to like this. With one of their credited wins going against Chapel Hill High School on September 24th, 1921, at an unknown location. No one knows to this day where that game was played. But somehow Elon was credited with the win against Chapel Hill High School. So that was your did you know for Elon this week.
Wow, as always, thank you for listening, watching YouTube. Let's try to get our subscribers up. We're getting closer and closer to 1,000. We're creeping up. So if you would, like, subscribe, you can comment there. Obviously, X, Instagram, our Facebook group. Just keep your eyes out there at Duke FB Talk. But we have a lot going on, man. There's a lot of giveaways. There's a lot of stuff hitting. Make sure you're filling that form out. Make sure you're retweeting and liking and tagging people for the college football game. We got a lot going. We can't wait to see you guys Thursday night. And then, as Brian mentioned earlier, get your freaking tickets for the Illinois game. Get here. Like, it's a 12 noon start. Like, a lot of people beg for those because you can still go do stuff on Saturday night. You can still hang out with your family. So go do that. We'll have a breakfast tailgate that week. It's going to be incredible. So, Brian, we have 1.5 minutes, man.
Fellas, we're 1 for 1. I didn't think we would hit under an hour, but we did. That's awesome. We got to keep this trend going. Thanks to each and every one of you for logging in, for tuning in, for listening in. This is only the beginning for the 2025 season, but that will do it for us for this episode. For Josh Cox, for Scott Medlin, for Jamie Holt, and producer Tyler Witt, I'm your host, Brian Kennedy, and this has been another episode of the Duke Football Talk Section 17 podcast.